All right. Answering the question today, is Jesus a revolutionary? At Matthew 5:17, he says, "Do not think that I have come to abolish the law or the prophets. I have not come to abolish them, but to fulfill them." So, why might people have gotten the wrong idea about what Jesus was up to? Take the Sabbath commandments for an example. Um, from a certain perspective, Jesus could be viewed as abolishing the law because he was breaking Sabbath all the time. Uh, According to their interpretation, the religious leaders accused him of breaking Sabbath because he would heal people on the Sabbath. And they thought that was Jesus setting the law aside. And what Jesus is saying is, no, I've actually come to fulfill it. So here's what's happening. The Jewish people held that only God could work on the Sabbath. No one else could do any work, but God could, and actually God did, because they viewed the birth of children, and they viewed the death of the older folks as the work of God. And people don't take a break from being born and dying on the Sabbath day, on Saturday. That stuff happened, and so they viewed that as God's work to give and take life. God could do that, but only God. And so when they saw Jesus working on the Sabbath, healing people, they said, no, that's out of bounds. You're setting the law aside. You're saying the law is of no account, and so forth. So 2 points there. Number one, Jesus can work on the Sabbath because he is God. In addition to being man, he is God. But second point, what looked like Jesus setting the law aside or abolishing the law was actually Jesus fulfilling the law. The Sabbath, think about what the Sabbath is for. The Sabbath is for restoration. The Sabbath is for wholeness. It's created by God for people to be refreshed, restored, and made whole. You're taking a break from work to be refreshed, restored, and made whole. So when Jesus comes along and heals someone, heals a woman's back, or heals a man's hand, or heals someone of their blindness, even if he does that on the Sabbath, and especially because he does that on the Sabbath, he is actually fulfilling everything that the Sabbath is for. It's for the well-being of man. And the thing is that only God can do that. You know, people can only keep the Sabbath in a limited way, but when Jesus came along, he could actually go to the depths of the Sabbath and give someone like complete restoration and complete wholeness in their body, because he could heal. And so what looked like abolishing the Sabbath or setting it aside was actually truly fulfilling it all the way to the depths, because he could actually heal a person. And so it's right for him to come along and say, contrary to whatever you think you see, do not think that I have come to abolish the law or the prophets. I have not come to abolish them, but to fulfill them. And that's pretty awesome.